Hey, Carolyn Cooper here. For today's energy shot, let's have some fun with the whiteboard. I'm super glad you're here. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I think can be one of the most powerful things we can do when we're going through a rough patch. So a rough patch, what's the definition of that? Anything that's challenging, that wears us down, that's tough, that hurts our heart, that, we're here in this university of life. We have a lot of challenges, a lot of situations that we get to experience all these things and all these different emotions. We get to learn who we are and how other people are. And so what I always tell my clients, and what I've always done myself, is begin with the end in mind. Now, I didn't always say it so eloquently. I stole those words from, Stephen Covey. That's actually habit number 2 in his famous 7 Habits for Highly Effective People book and training. And begin with the end of mind. In mind. This is how I see people a lot. Can you see my little guy up here? He's like, going through a rough patch in my life. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's at the end of that. And what happens is, a lot of times, this is how we see the rough patch. Just yikes. Just that's all we can see. It's so big that it's blocking out our vision of how's this going to end up. What's this going to look like when all is said and done? Who am I going to be after I go through this? This is just so scary. It overwhelms me. It's overpowering. It's all I can see. It's a big cloud in front of me. Am I making that too dramatic? Anyway, that's how it seems sometimes. Like, this is just, whoa, so much stuff. And then, here's the end. When I'm finally through all of this, I can't even think about that, because I don't even know what's out there or how that's going to be. Am I going to be totally a lump on the ground when that happens? I mean, what's going to happen to me by the time we get there? People a lot of times are not even seeing the end. And so, to quote from Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind. What if this little person, this big person, this amazing person, and let's make the hands right here clapping hands. And what if you started here with this end and you made this a nice, beautiful, shiny star, something, something great at the end? What do you want to have happen? What do you want this? I don't even do want. So let's do this. Put a line through that. It's not what do you want to have happen, because the universe, God, Mother Nature, whatever you want to say, my vocabulary for that is God. I don't know his plans for me or for anybody. And so I never say, well, what I want to have happen. I can intend that, but usually I will change that to, how do I want to feel? Because it may not end up exactly how I thought would be the best way. Most of the time it's better. How do I want to feel when this is all said and done? I want to give you an example of that. I use this with my friends and clients all the time, but I had a client who was going through a divorce. She was terrified, getting divorced from a guy who she says is a narcissist. Not that I don't believe her when I said she said, but allegedly. And so she was so nervous to go to court. Like, she had to go face him in court. And so she was doing the picture on, she was doing this picture where all she could see was, let's just get it out, bear with me. The courtroom. She hadn't seen him in months. She was going to have to face him. She was scared to death of that. She didn't even give any thought to what the ending of that was. Just, this is coming up for me. So let's change the focus. let's put the focus here. We'll let this work itself out. But how do you want to feel at the end of that? How do you want to feel? So we let her write a list of what does she want to feel. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel safe. I want to feel like I did my best and I was a good person, and I went through that with my integrity intact. I want to respect myself, and mostly peace. That's mostly what she wanted. She just wanted to have peace in her life, because this had been a long time thing going on for her. So I got her, instead of looking at this, I'm like, you look at this. You begin with the end in mind. How do you want to feel? And every time these diminish. They're still there. We're not taking those away. They're still there. But it's, what are you going to look at? What are you going to focus on? Because what we focus on expands. We know that, right? Where your energy goes, that's going to seem like the big thing here. So let's go to this. How do you want to feel? I want to feel peaceful. I trust that I can feel peaceful when this is all said and done. So we get the focus on the end, creating the end. And of course, we don't know all the hows. We don't know how it's going to turn out. But every time I've talked somebody through this, and we get them focusing on this, whether they just have a few days or whether they've got months, going through something, just keep your focus on how do you want to feel when this is all said and done. And it's also, how do you want to feel right now? Because if she's focusing on, I want to walk away from that. I visualize myself coming out of the courtroom with a smile on my face, getting in my car, saying, oh, that went better than I could have ever expected. That gives you the peace in the moment as well. So it's not only that we're looking to the future, but when you feel like my future can be peaceful, this is a possibility, I'm willing to see that as a possibility, it helps calm down everything else, including all the physical, your central nervous system. It's not just the energy of it and the mind and the thoughts, but it's also actually physically, it can calm you down. So that's my tip for you today. If you have something that you're going through, and if you don't right now, but I hope you remember this later, if you do, is think about, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel on the other side of that? And it doesn't have to be anything super traumatic. Like, what if you've got something fun, like a blind date? How do you want to feel when you're done with the blind date, when you come home? How do you want to feel like, that went really well? That was fun. It might not be your soulmate, or it might be, but either way, you want to feel happy. How do you want to feel after you give that presentation to your peer group? Do you want to sit down and go, oh man, I wish I would have said this, or I said that, or I messed up? No. If that's what you're thinking, what we think about, we bring about. So be thinking of, how do you want to feel when you sit down after that talk, when you walk off the stage after that talk? Visualize that in your head. Get that feeling in your body of, this is what I'm creating for it to look like. This is what I'm creating for myself to feel like. It's simple, just a simple thought. It's a matter of visualizing, thinking, and trusting, and keeping your eye on the end result. Begin with the end in mind. Have a great day. You can do this. Shine on, my friend.